Hello everybody, happy Monday. As always, so excited to chat with our guest today, Vanessa Brantley Newton, an author and illustrator that I have admired for a long time, and I'm sure you have too. If you haven't already checked out her work, you're going to want to because it's amazing. So once she gets in the chat here, we will welcome her in right away. But while we're waiting, if anyone would like to just drop in where you're joining us from today, how you're doing, how your Monday's doing, we will get started any minute here. So for those of you that don't know me, I am Sarah Krajewski. I am an elementary art teacher and also run the weekly IG live chat with the Art of Ed. Today, Vanessa Brantley Newton is going to be talking about her new book, Becoming Vanessa, as well as some of her older books and just what her experience was like to be an artist and what it's like to bring people together through diversity through her art. So it's going to be a great chat. Y'all, does anyone else own this beautiful book? This is one of my favorite ones by Vanessa. It's one of her more recent books. It's called Just Like Me, and she did the illustrations and the writing in the book. It is gorgeous. Also, hello from Bermuda. We will be chatting with her about her upcoming book, and man, you guys should guess how many books she's authored and illustrated because it's insane. In a great way. Like, it's so many. Hello from California. Hello from Panama. Oh, yay! I'm so glad you did the Circle of Control lesson. Nice to see you. Dragons Create. And y'all better be ready to get your hands on this amazing sticker at the end. So keep your ears listening for our chat at the very end of our chat today, essentially. So I'll always ask a trivia question at the end, and the first person that answers it right will get their question answered. So I'm going to take a peek here and see. Yes, Angela, I completely agree. Vanessa is incredibly inspiring. And those of you, hello from Germany. Those of you that have not checked out her books and her Instagram, you're definitely going to want to do that. And after the chat, we will also be sharing a lot in the Art of Ed Instagram feed, which includes a link to Vanessa's website as well as her TED Talk. So if you haven't watched her TED Talk already, it's amazing. She also sings at the end of the TED Talk, which literally was making me cry in my room when I was watching it. It was amazing. My earrings are by sweet artist Aaliyah, and she was actually on an IG Live a few weeks ago. Exulting in Beauty is her Instagram, so you can check it out. And she makes them all from perler beads. Y'all, it's amazing. Okay, hello from Ireland. Yay, I'm so happy to see everybody from all over the world today. What time is it for you guys? I'm shocked. All right, give me a second here just to make sure we're not missing Vanessa in the chat. She should be here any moment. But we can just chat for a second while we're waiting for her. I know sometimes it's tricky when we have like a minute or two to get ourselves organized. How was y'all's day? Mine was crazy. I live in Wisconsin, so it's like super, super snowy. And I don't know where we're going to put the snow if it snows again. Minneapolis. Hello, Minneapolis friend. Let's see. Bermuda. Ooh, I want to be there. All right, let's see. From Western MA. Nice. Massachusetts, right next to, Eric Carle Museum. I love it. Y'all, I know, Janet, it is an amazing amount of snow right now. It is crazy. All right, I'm going to give Vanessa a couple more minutes here. I was just chatting with her, so I know she's going to be ready, but let me just check and make sure. Because I already chatted with her. Okay. East Hampton. Negative weather for us Wisconsin people. It's like, feels like -10 today. It's insane. I kind of want to take a walk, but I don't know if that's really a great idea. Not going to lie. Okay, you guys, I'm going to give her one more minute till 4:05. Yay, there she is. Okay, here we go. Vanessa. I'm coming in with like some hot energy right now because I'm real excited. For those of you that are wondering, as Vanessa, she just joined, so she'll be requesting here in a second. But my earrings are by Aaliyah over at Exulting in Beauty. So her Instagram is Exulting in Beauty. Vanessa, girl, let's see. Go live with Okay, once she accepts it, we'll see her in a second, you guys. I'm so excited. Vanessa. Hey, Vanessa!
Hey,
How are
darling,
you
how
doing,
are
my friend?
you?
Good, how are you doing?
Doing better now. Of course,
I'm so
everything
good.
goes kaplooey, but hey, it is
Oh,
what it is.
we make it work. We're all about flexibility and just riding with the waves and just letting it happen. It's all good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hi, everyone.
Hey, hey. Oh, man, we got a big group here today. You got about 50 some people watching you. Everybody's so excited to hear you talk today. Lots of fans of the
Oh,
books out there, and we're excited to get into it. So, as y'all start joining the chat here, if you have any questions, I'll try my very best to keep an eye in the chat so that I can kind of field some of those questions for you too, Vanessa, okay? So, let's get started. Can you tell everybody that either knows you or doesn't know you just a little bit about yourself, your vibe, just a snippet about who you are, Vanessa?
I'm a happy-go-lucky. That's what I am. All day, every day. Even in
Oh,
a
yeah.
pandemic, I choose to be happy. Not because
Yes.
all these wonderful things are jumping off and are wonderful and everything. It is just that I'm a very positive person. I try to keep it positive because nobody wants to cry with you. Honestly, they just don't. But I like to laugh. I love children. I enjoy being with children. I think I'm stuck at 5 years old perpetually. I
You're
live
a big
there.
kid.
Exactly. I'm a big kid. I'm an earring stealer. And so I will be stealing your earrings. Just wanted to let you
Oh,
know.
you have to follow her. Aaliyah's so good. And I want yours, so let's just trade.
Okay, we'll trade. Absolutely. But that's basically, I'm an illustrator and writer of children's books.
Yes, yes. Okay, so we'll talk just a little bit about that. I know people are so excited to hear you talk. Hello from your kindergarten fans. I know we use a lot of books in elementary. We see our little babies, and there's so much content that you're sharing with the world, and your positive energy just like shines through you, Vanessa. So it's incredibly contagious. And I wanted to just talk just a little bit about your career, right? So you're primarily a children's book author and illustrator. Can you just tell us what that journey looked like for you to get into that career path and maybe how it started and where you're at right now?
It's so funny because it did not start off that way.
Uh-huh.
As an African American person, you don't come home and tell your mama and daddy that you want to be an artist. That is just
Mm-hmm.
not, it's not understood. It's not heard. How can a child be what it's never seen before? And so
Right.
it freaked my mom and dad out. I mean, they were really like, okay, baby doll, listen, go get a job as a phlebotomist. That's a person that draws blood, basically a professional vampire. Go and be a professional vampire. And basically you'll make some money and it'll be good.
Uh-huh.
But I was drawing on the walls. I was drawing on the kitchen stove. And I remember one day I drew on the side of the kitchen stove and they were cooking. And I jumped back and I said, I'm an artist. And they were like, no, you're not. You're a janitor. You're going to clean all this mess up. And then I got sent to my room. And I went in my room and I drew in the closet. And so as a
Mm-hmm.
child, I always knew I wanted to be an artist. I just didn't know what the word for it was.
Yeah.
As I got older and I am dyslexic.
Mm-hmm.
And so that made it very hard. But I also have something called synesthesia, which is the
Mm-hmm.
ability to see, smell, feel, taste, and hear color and words. And so it was just difficult. School was not my happy place. I'm just going to put it out there.
Yeah.
I hated school and school hated me. I did
Ooh.
not like it at all. I was the worst student. F's and D's all over the place. And I'm telling you all this because I had teachers, Mr. Small and Miss Dean. I hope you guys are still alive and on the planet. These two teachers were the ones who really stood in the gap for me and said, hey, listen, this kid has talent. And I remember them taking me to FIT. My SAT scores were below 500. They were awful. And they got me into FIT. God and them got me into FIT. And I studied fashion. Fashion was the thing that I love, still love fashion.
Mm-hmm.
It's my heart. But at the time, African Americans weren't given jobs in fashion. It was just now that it was just breaking into Black models and things like that. So I
Mm-hmm.
went into makeup artistry. And that was the thing that I did for 25 years was makeup artistry.
Wow.
Fast forward, got married, buried a baby that would have been 22 years old, and then finally had a miracle baby. I read every book to my kid. Zoe had every book you could possibly imagine. And as I looked through the books, I got this heart for doing children's books. And I had already taken a course at FIT in children's book illustration, but it just never panned out. You just didn't go anywhere.
Sure.
My husband, myself, lost our jobs, lost our home, lost our cars, okay? Lost my mama, lost, like I said, lost my baby, lost everything, okay? And I began to start a blog. And I began to put myself in my own school, if you will, because I would write artists and illustrators and nobody would respond to me. They just would not. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do it myself. So I started teaching my own self. I already am self-taught illustrator, but put all my artwork all over the living room. It was everywhere. My husband came in one day and he said, can you please clean this up? He said, our living room looks like a museum. It's awful in here. Clean it up. I had a girlfriend that said she was coming over to visit me. My girlfriend comes over and says, I want to pray with you. Okay? I don't mind telling people I'm a woman of faith. She said, I want to pray with you. She comes in and she looks around. She goes, Vanessa, who does all this artwork? I said, me. She said, Vanessa, in all the years that we've known each other, 8 years, you never told me that you were an illustrator. I said, oh, I'm trying to be an illustrator. I'm just, blogging about the journey and everything. She goes, do you know who I work for? I said, no. She said, Vanessa, you don't know who I work for. I said, no. She said, I work for Scholastic Books. You're hired.
Yes. It's like the shining light.
I've been working in children's books ever since that day. And that was, tears want to come to my eyes as I think of her. Karen Proctor was an amazing assistant, to helping my career jump off. So that's really the short of it.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of perseverance, I mean, Vanessa, I don't know if I've heard a story that has just seen so many roller coasters through it. And that perseverance and that drive, I mean, is clearly making you the woman and artist and amazing human that you are, but also is kind of creating your story, right?
Yeah.
And exactly. that's what inspires all of the things and the choices that you do. So I think that is a great background, despite the fact that there are obviously things that you wish you could maybe change, but it makes you who you are, right?
I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't have a story.
That's
I wouldn't
true.
have a
That's
story.
true.
So.
That is a really great point. Okay, so let's go behind the scenes a little bit, because we now know how you became an author illustrator is sort of by happenstance with this friend a little bit, like making those connections. But what does your actual creative process look like? Because sometimes I feel like students just think things happen, right? Like they just think a book is made and they're like, oh, cool. Yeah, you just get it in the library. That's where it's made. But no, there's so much more.
It's not that easy. I will tell you, Sarah, sometimes my process is difficult for me to even explain to people. I have a very good friend, Sean Qualls. Hello, Sean Qualls out there. Sean Qualls, and I finally got a chance to meet him and talk to him in California about 4 or 5 years ago. And Sean got up and he spoke after me and he said, I don't want to even speak after Vanessa. He said, what am I going to say? And he got up and he gave the most moving speech about the process. And he began to share about how he didn't know what the process was. And I was like, I'm standing back there crying my makeup off because it was the first time somebody ever really explained what my process was. People want me to tell them, okay, I use this paint, I use that paint, I do this, I do that. I am a person who feels. I feel deeply about everything I do. And I listen to music. Music is everything to me as a singer and a musician as well. Music is everything. It is the paint on my palette. I tell people more than just using pens and pencils. It's the music that I'm listening to. Right now, I'm listening to Common. Common is everything right now, okay? Yes. And also Tobe Nwigwe. He's another one that I listen to. I love Tobe
Baby
Nwigwe.
Fat, so good.
He's amazing. And so I listen to music to help me move through the process. And with synesthesia, the music helps me to pick what colors I need to put on the palette.
Yeah.
And so in my process, sometimes I don't even do real big, long sketches. I do real short, thumbnails of what I think it needs to be. And then I let the paper and the art supplies kind of tell me, even the character. You know, some people don't understand that, but the character talks to me and tells me, okay, I want a beret today. I want to be a dark brown, or I want to be white, or I want cornrows or whatever. My characters talk to me. I'm going to be in a wheelchair today. And I try to go with the feel of what my character is trying to tell me. And so it's very, for me, it's very, very feeling thing for me.
Yeah. So it's kind of, it sounds like it's more intuitive. Like you're just kind of sort of following your heart and letting it be what it is. I love that. I think sometimes you're right. It doesn't really need an explanation, but it's fun to just hear you talk about your art making and the fact that like, it's not structured. It's not always one way or another.
It's not structured. Not at all.
I love it. I love it. So how do you feel like your art making has sort of evolved? And I see a couple questions too that people are dropping in here. So I want to make sure I ask you that too. But can you talk
Ty. Hi, Catherine.
Hey.
Hi, Andrew. Okay, I see everybody. So,
no, you just give them all a shout out. It's good. You got your whole group of fans here. We're super excited to talk to you. But can you tell us just a little bit about how you think your art has evolved? I mean, has your style changed? Do you feel a little bit, I'm going to let you answer that yourself. How do you feel like it has changed over time?
It has changed. When I first started out, I did a lot of watercolor. And I'm not a person of control. I don't even like to be around controlling people.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I'm very much a free soul, not so free that I'm crazy, but I'm free to be who I am because for so many years I was restricted in who I could be and what I could do. After Vanessa lost and buried a child, I was like, all bets are off. This is me all day, every day.
Yeah.
So if you don't like it, skip.
Don't hold back.
I don't care. Exactly.
Yes.
And it became the same thing with my artwork. I enjoyed doing art that brought me joy. And I tell it to many artists and illustrators is you got to do you first before everybody else. We're looking for everybody else to discover us.
Yeah.
And we don't even get a chance to discover who we are. Discover your own doggone self. I'm looking for other people to go, oh, that's wonderful. No, do you like it? And especially for women, because we do it with apologies. How do you like this or whatever? Men do stuff. It could be crazy. It could be stupid. It could be whatever. They don't ask you whether you like it or not. They just put it out there and go, Sarah, you like what I
did?
Yes.
Here it is, baby.
Exactly.
I love that.
We just kind of like, well, I used to wonder if, no. I'm done with that. I'll be 60 soon. I'm done. And so when artwork came to, as far as style, I looked into every illustrator that I loved. And I looked and I studied their work. Not to copy them out in public, but in my own private closet, I copied the heck out of them.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Charles Schultz was one of my favorites. Ezra Jack Keats, my all-time favorite. There's Clifford Brown was another one. Some definitely the Warner Brothers and cartoons and stuff like that. I watched those things all the time. Hanna-Barbera. These were the things that were afforded me as a child. And they helped me to develop my style. And it changes from year to year. The one thing that I'm never going to be is unteachable. I will remain teachable and always looking what's going to make me better. What's going to get me to the next level. So,
I mean, I just feel like, I just want to hear you talk all day, Vanessa. Remain teachable. Like we just pull, all of those things are so, it feels obvious, but it's so not, right?
It's not.
And reminding yourself too, like maybe a lot of art teachers, if there's other art teachers in the chat now, they know that feeling of a kiddo coming up to them and saying, hey, do you like it? Do you like it? Like waiting for that approval. And sometimes you feel like you need that as a little one, but there's also that response where you can say, are you proud of it, right? Do you feel proud? Do you feel strong? So that's kind of a big part of what hopefully we're ingraining in our students because we're seeing that from you and knowing how important that is. Okay. Love that. I'm like jotting down nuggets that I need for my own sanity, my own self.
Awesome.
So thank you. So why don't you tell us about some of your maybe more recent books, as well as I know our next question is going to be talking a little bit more about your upcoming book. Yes. But to my knowledge, Just Like Me is your most recent book, correct?
That's the most recent. Came out January 14th last year. And
it is gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
It is a book from the heart. It truly is.
Yes. And I love this book too because it's mostly filled with like, I mean, they're all one pagers, right? They're short poems. I love reading it to my kids in line because when they're waiting to get picked up, like by their homeroom teacher, I can read 3 and then the teacher's there and we didn't miss the story. So I'm like, it's perfect for quick reading because I'm not like, okay, I got 7 minutes to read a story. It's like, I got 30 seconds. It's perfect. So Just Like Me is amazing, along with how many other books have you illustrated and written, would you estimate, Vanessa?
I have illustrated over, now it will be 90 books, 90 children's books. I've written 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't know how you have the time. I mean, even writing 5 and illustrating 90-something books, yes. Vanessa, I don't even know what to say to that. Like, y'all give her some hearts because that's amazing. Support her and purchase those beautiful books. I know you did mention to me some of them are under like some more books under different names and things like that. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about how you've gone through that process of illustrating so many things and including so many diverse characters?
Absolutely. You know, it's so funny, Sarah, because, in the industry that we're in, it is kind of shunned, if you're a self-publisher. I tell people, there are some of my friends who are self-published and are doing well. One in particular, Mr. Ty Jackson. He is an amazing writer. He knows what he's doing. And there are other people who come along that really don't have a clue. And, my whole thing is, I don't want you to, to do this and then end up with 1,200 books that's going to sit in your closet. Yeah. Because you want to write stories about grandma has diabetes or Uncle Jed has schizophrenia. Ain't no baby going to ask at 5 years old for this story. They're not. Right. I'm just being honest with you. Children want stories that are going to engage them, and they really want stories about themselves. Yeah, they really do. Yeah. Yes. Okay. And so, for me, it was in the beginning, I wanted to test the waters. So I wanted to work with self-publishers to kind of at least get my feet up under me about how to do a children's book. Sure. And so a lot of my friends who, hey, Vanessa, will you illustrate a book for me? I did it. Now that's changed. It's changed a lot. I can't do it, but I've done them under different names. Because now as a published illustrator and working with larger publishers, we can't do that. Right. You got to start somewhere and continuing to say yes in the beginning. Exactly. So, church members, my mother would tell, oh, my baby, she does illustrations. Stop telling people that I illustrate, mommy, please. Don't you love that? It's like your parents or your grown-ups or your friends are always your hustlers. I'm like, please, I got it. Exactly. I'm like, but it's sweet. Please don't tell them. Please don't. I know it's coming, Sarah. I know it is. I'm like, oh, shoot. It's well-intentioned. It's out of love. But, of course, it's like, listen, I don't have the time. Okay, so over 90 books, Vanessa. And some of them, maybe we can just sort of get, like, we'll get a little peek and be like, oh, that might be a Vanessa. But you don't really know. Yes, exactly. Yes. Exactly. But I know there are so many that have your name on them that people can support you with, for sure. So a whole bunch of them there too. Now, I did want to ask, I think I had a question here. Hi, cuz. We were going to talk just a little bit about your newest book. So this one is called Becoming Vanessa, and it is set to come out when again? June 14th. Oh, okay. Yeah. Do you want to June tell us 14th. Just a little bit about that? Which actually leads me sort of to my next question, which is about your TED Talk, where you kind of talked about the origin of you and your schooling and how you became the person that you are, which I imagine might have a connection to becoming Vanessa. Absolutely. Yes. As a child, I was the only Black child in the classroom when I first went to school. And my mother dressed me impeccably. I mean, literally, Sarah, people would go, there goes the Board of Health. When they would see me and my sister go to school, it was ridiculous. It was crazy. And I remember walking into the classroom and the decline of my learning happened then. I had a teacher who made it very, very clear to my parents and myself that she did not want me in her classroom because I was Black. And she threatened me, and she told me that if I didn't do what she wanted me to do, she was going to put my head in the fish tank that was in the room.
Oh my God.
It scared the pants off of me. I refused to even tell my mother and father what had happened, because back in the day, you know, it was, oh, if the teacher said something was wrong, then you might have did it.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to get a spanking, so I just kept my mouth shut. I am a stutterer. I am dyslexic. And it just caused everything went down from there. Everything.
Yeah.
And so it was just very, very difficult. And the one thing I didn't like either was that my mother named me Vanessa. And it was everybody in the classroom had a name: Jane, Mary, Beth, Elizabeth, Joanne, Scott, Jamie. And my name was Vanessa. And because I was dyslexic, it had 2 S's in it. It had 2 A's in it. And it was, oh my goodness. And I would just freak out when I had to write my name.
Yeah.
And I would just cry through the whole thing. And I remember going home, and my mother was pregnant with my brother, who passed. And she was pregnant with my brother. And they were going through the baby book of names. And they go through the book. And I said, why'd you name me Vanessa? And she goes, let me tell you why I named you Vanessa. She said, you see all those beautiful butterflies you like to draw? And that was my favorite thing to do, Sarah, was to take paint and pour it in the middle of the paper and then smack it together.
Yes.
And then open it up. It's
so
the
good.
Butterfly, right? And I would have these things all over my room. And she would go, you know all those little butterflies you like? I said, yeah. She said, you know what Vanessa means? No. She said, it means butterfly in Greek. And it touched my heart so much, even as a child. I said, my name means butterfly. And now that I'm older and I understand that it really means metamorphosis.
Yeah.
And that is what I'm constantly going through, is a metamorphosis. I tell people, even right now with the climate that we're living in, and it's not to get off what we're talking about, the climate that we're living in, I don't want change. I want transformation.
Yes.
I mean, I don't want to go back to the crazy, okay?
No.
Okay?
I agree.
A butterfly can never go back to caterpillar state. It can make more caterpillars by making babies, but it can never go backwards. And so this book is really about this little girl who questions why her name is Vanessa. And she puts on everything in her closet thinking it's going to make her special. And what you see through the book is there's a caterpillar. And while she's being metamorphosized, the caterpillar is also being metamorphosized through the book.
Yes.
Yeah, I try to get to your heart.
I cannot wait.
And so this is really to be careful what we name our children,
Sure.
to think about what we call them. It's a gift that my mother and father gave me. And it is a gift that I want to give to other children, that you may have a different name that people might not be able to pronounce or whatever, but you need to be proud of your name.
Oh,
so
that is,
I'm looking forward to this book coming out.
That is beautiful. There's clearly a lot of meaning there for you, but I also think it's going to connect with a lot of people too. That change, that coming to your own, that acceptance of who you are and being proud of who you are. Yes. I cannot wait to read it and to read it to my students. Now, I'm going to ask you a question that we did not talk about.
Sure, not a problem.
Yet. Okay, but as an art educator who teaches in a school where we don't have a huge diverse group of students, I don't have that many Black students in my class. Is there any suggestions that you can give to someone that might have a population like that to, to create a very welcoming environment, or anything you wish you would have had, or anything that you wish somebody would have done for you as a minority in a group of students? Absolutely. Like that? Do you know what I'm asking?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Children need to know that they're accepted. Yep. One of the things that Maya Angelou said was that your child, when they see you or when they walk into a room, the look on your face needs to be one of, you're the best thing that ever entered this room.
Yes.
It really is important for our teachers to have a heart for children, and not just white children, but all children. All children. I think that racism is something that is taught.
Yes.
And it is truly taught, y'all. I'm telling you what I know. Worked in a hospital for 25 years, held a whole lot of babies in my arms. Not one of them ever told me to put them down because my arms were brown. Babies want 3 things. Is there a clean diaper when I poop this one out? Is there a bottle over there with some milk, warm milk in it? And are your arms and heart strong enough to hold me?
Mm.
That's all they want.
Oh my God.
And so if we give them that in love, and it starts with us. How you feeling about yourself? Because we give out of where we are.
Yes.
So if you're struggling with your own self, guess what? Even as a teacher, you're going to struggle with your students.
Yes.
So I'm telling my teachers who are on here now, give yourself some love.
Yes.
Okay? And I'm not talking about, find a relationship. No. Get a relationship with you so that you can give out to the students that come into your classroom. And yes, I know it is difficult when you want diversity and it's not there because in this neighborhood it's not happening. But how we bring it forth, Sarah, is you buy those books that have Black or by Black authors and illustrators, and you put them in front of all the children, because
100%.
even white children need to know that Black children can do more than be slaves. They can do more than be civil rights marchers, and that's important. Don't get me wrong; those things are so important. But that Black boys can fly, that little Black girls can win beauty contests, that we can do other things, and it lends to them, so they go, you know what? You can do whatever you want to do too.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes, completely. Okay. I mean, I feel like we're vibing with that for sure. Definitely, like, we need to show our students all diverse people, right? That feels obvious, but this is why we're talking, because sometimes it's not obvious for some people, right, Vanessa?
Absolutely.
Gotta give them those reminders.
Gotta give them to
right. Planting, I love that. Planting seeds of diversity. And I know that's part of our conversation today too, Vanessa, is the fact that you have created so many characters and they're all diverse characters, right? They represent, I remember you saying in your TED Talk that you hope that you've created a character so that somebody can find themselves in your book.
Absolutely.
Right?
Every child needs to look at it and go, that's me, or that looks like my uncle, that looks like my mama, or my daddy, or my best friend. That's why.
Yeah.
That's important. Hi, Lisa. Lisa, my dog.
I love it. Your whole crew's here. So tell me, now that we're in the classroom a little bit, tell me what you think might be one of the, I mean, there's many important character traits, but what do you feel like is some of the most important conversations and traits we should be teaching our students that's going to make them be the best people they can be? There's so many things. Sometimes it feels like so much, and we're trying to make art and we're trying to do all these things, but really when it comes down to it, we're just trying to teach them to be great humans, and it happens to happen through art making.
Absolutely.
What do you feel is should be top of the list?
Part of it is you're enough. You are enough.
Yeah.
That you don't have to be super duper smart and special and all that kind of stuff, but that you're okay being yourself. And some of this, honestly, I'm gonna go there. You know me. I'm the person who will go there.
Yes.
It starts with parenting.
Yeah.
Teachers can only do but so much.
Correct.
Okay. And now things have changed. It has changed in a big way because now the children are home in the parent space. And so they are watching every freaking thing we do. Everything we do, they're watching it. Okay, and they got their eyes on you to see how you're doing today. Are you depressed? Are you, are you anxious? What is it? And so we can't put everything on the teachers to do, but if we can encourage our students or let them know you're enough. If there is a struggle, be an advocate for the kid, not just jump on them and you're horrible and you're not doing this or whatever. Where's the grace?
Yeah,
I'm not talking about sloppy grace that just lets a child run over you or whatever. I'm talking about where's the grace to say what's going on at home. We're in a pandemic. We're in a pandemic.
Yep.
It's not just America. It's all over the world. Okay, and that our kids need to know that it's going to be okay. We can't solve it in one day. We're going to take it one day at a time. Some days your cheese is going to slide off the cracker. It just is. Okay?
Yep.
Some of us just going to have temper tantrums and roll in the floor, get your dress caught in your panties, and it's going to be,
Yep.
Your toupee may flip. It's okay.
Yes.
Okay?
I love it.
It's okay. It's okay. And let them have the moment of, I miss my friends.
Yeah.
I miss not seeing my grandma or my granny. Excuse me if I get emotional. I miss not seeing my grandma. Yeah. I miss not seeing my grandpa. or somebody passes, lose a friend, I can't even say goodbye. It's a lot for adults, but can you imagine what children are going through?
Yeah.
It's difficult. And we all need to be gentle with ourselves. We're trying to, I got to get this done. I get to get the other thing done and everything. Hell, we're in a pandemic, y'all. What? Seriously?
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm working on books right now. Sometimes my brain just ain't there.
Yes, I know.
And they go, oh, you're creative. You need to do this or whatever. No, I need to live. I need to not even survive. I need to thrive. And the only way I'm going to do that is self-care. Taking care of myself, taking the breathers, do whatever I need to do. And so my teachers need to do the same thing. You need to be gentle with yourselves. Don't blame yourself for everything. You can't fix all of this.
Yes.
But what you can do is let them know that they are heard, that they are seen, and that they are cared for. That's what we can do.
Okay. Seen, heard, cared for. It's the basics. I mean, it's giving them love, right?
Yeah.
Loving those students, because even if they get that love at home, there's no way you can be a patient, wonderful, caring, respectful, responsible person at all times. So our job is to then try our very best to be those things. Absolutely. And give our students that grace, that patience, that understanding to say, all right, I'm here. I'm going to talk to you in that calm voice because, baby, I got your back. That is my job, is to support you, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. God, Vanessa, you're going to make me cry, girl. I can't handle this on a Monday. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about that classroom. Excuse me, I'm like being blind in here, but it's the light.
The light looks wonderful on you. You're radiating.
Oh, thanks. So let's talk just a little bit about, we talked about sort of what we want that classroom to look like. Certainly bringing your books and bringing those conversations, other books by many variety of authors and illustrators is going to help those conversations. But what did art feel like to you specifically? And is there anything you would have changed or wanted as a young aspiring artist that you'd like to tell the multitude of art educators and creatives that are watching right now?
My first art teacher was not was not nice to me. Like I said, I'm a child of the 60s, and so it was just the times that I lived in. But when Mr. Small and Miss Dean got me in their class in the 70s, and these two teachers just cared about me as a child. They saw that I didn't talk a whole lot. I basically was picked on a whole lot. I didn't do a whole lot of communicating, but I would get my pencil and my paper out and I would communicate through line. Yeah. I would communicate through texture and paint. And that was the way I expressed myself. And in doing so, it really opened their hearts to me to we want to help her. We want to help her have more expression. And it was really very, very special to me when they would just kind of, hey, how you doing today?
Yeah.
Are you okay? Do you need anything from me? And sometimes it was just that arm around the shoulder and just pulling me in close and saying, hey, that's difficult. I know y'all right now because you're not touching, you can't touch the students and everything else. But you know what? If you can get to do the Zoom sessions where you're just with your class and you say, we're just going to take a moment out to just talk about what we admire in each other or how we're feeling today. Sometimes it's just that, just being real with them and saying, students, I'm not feeling really good today. Kind of feeling sad. How are you feeling? And kids will open up like flowers because it's, Miss Sarah, you're not feeling good today. You're not feeling, what's wrong? They want it instantly starts conversation.
Yes. Yeah.
And especially little boys, because little boys, little girls and others, how can I help you? How can I make my teacher feel better? It is the most amazing thing. And it's empowering to children because then they feel like, you know what? I said something encouraging, not to another student. I said something encouraging to my teacher that made my teacher feel a special way. So that's very, very important. So I wish that my teachers would have understood that I did have a learning difference, that I didn't need to be in special ed, but I needed somebody to have the time to say, she learns differently. Let me find out what that is. So that was the only thing.
Okay, and that only thing is a
Mhm.
huge thing, Vanessa.
Mhm.
Seeing every kid,
Yeah.
right? Seeing them for where they're at, what
Yes.
they need, and
Yes.
it is not hard,
Mhm.
though it may test you. But if there's a kid that you really struggle with,
Mhm.
if at all possible, find a way to whisper in their ear, I really love how you did this thing today, or I see how you made this choice, or I'm really loving that decision you did to just do a crazy dance, or whatever it was, right? Because that
Exactly.
acknowledgement, that seeing of that kid is going to give them, hopefully, the feeling that they're not alone, because that is sometimes
Absolutely.
the hardest part, is feeling like you're doing it by yourself and you're the only one that feels that way.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That means so much. And it's not just walking up to them and going, "Oh, you're special." It's not that. Sometimes it's just the unseen thing. Sometimes it's the wink of the eye, just to say, "I
Yeah.
got you. I hear you."
Yep.
That kind of thing.
Yes.
Not being disingenuine, but being as real as we possibly can. We have nothing to lose. We
Right.
think we have all to lose because we're vulnerable. Now, I'm not telling you to be vulnerable with everybody. You can't. You can't. And kindness is not weakness. Just because I'm kind, don't mean I'm weak and stupid. Okay.
Quite the
Um,
opposite.
there you go. I consider you a iron fist and a velvet glove. That's what I consider you.
There
Okay.
you go.
All right. And that's basically myself. I'm an iron fist and a velvet glove. I got some stuff up my sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't take all this and she's smiling and everything. Yeah, there's some days when it ain't like that. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
And I can quickly change on you real quick, not in a hurry to break anybody, but even with children, there are times when I have to be firm. And I'll even give you, for instance, had a little girl in the class came in, and she's just being disrespectful. I mean, disrespectful to the teachers, disrespectful to me. And I told the class, I said, need y'all to wait just a second. You come here for a second. And she comes to me, and we're over in the corner, and we're talking. And I told her, and you have to excuse me because I don't curse anything. I'm going to say anything like that. I'm saying that I'm prophetic, not pathetic, prophetic.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so I have the ability to see things that other people don't see.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to tell you everything that I told her, but I whispered in her ear all that was going on at home. And this little girl burst into tears. And she put her arms around me, and I'll never forget this. She put her arms around me, and she said, I don't know you, but I love you.
Oh.
Sometimes I think she's probably about 17 now.
Yeah.
And y'all have to excuse me because I feel, like I said, I feel.
Yep.
And I wonder on days when she's having bad days, does she remember what I said to her?
Mm-hmm.
I want children, when I touch them, to remember what I said to them when they turn 27, when they turn 35, that they remember something that I said about them, whether it's their skin color and that you're brown and you're fine just the way you are, or that you're in a wheelchair, but you still have legs to get around, they're just wheels, or that you're gay and you're just finding yourself. I want them to know that I see them.
Yep.
I appreciate them and I love them. And this is real Vanessa. This is me all day, every day. This is who I am. I ain't got nothing to hide. I ain't got no closets to hide nothing in. What you see right here is
yes.
real. This ain't made up.
We love you for it. I mean, Vanessa, I don't even really know what to say, because I think there's nothing else to this except for just to see each other and to love each other. I recently started saying, I see my kids on Zoom. I'm doing hybrid. So every time I exit out of the thing, I say, all right, friends, we'll see you next time. I love you. I never used to say I love you to my kiddos, but I'm saying I love you to fifth graders. I'm like, I love you.
Oh,
because they need it.
They need it.
Like,
they need it. They need it so bad. Yes, they do. Yes,
so,
they do.
I mean, Vanessa, I just need you to whisper in my ear whenever I'm having a rough day. Like, hell.
I love you, Sarah.
Insert name of student. Here's a great question for you in my question box that I want to ask. Miss LOL Lola Bunny asked, what story would you write to your younger self if she were listening today?
Oh my goodness. What story would I write to myself?
Like, what do you wish you saw? What book do you wish you read as your younger self? I love that question.
Wow. That is such a deep question. It's got me kind of looking inward now. It's, wow. You are colorful and full of life. You are loved beyond imagination, and your imagination is going to take you far. I would love for somebody to have said that to me.
Yeah.
Definitely. My mother and father, they tried. But being from the old school, you know, it was, if I tell you that you're great and everything is going to go to your head and you'll, you know,
Sure.
And so they held back. But if somebody would have told me that you're magical, Vanessa, you're worth it. We believe in you. That would have been so awesome.
Yeah. Well, we do.
And I might have to write that book. Thank you.
Yeah. We are giving you ideas over here. Okay.
Yes, you are.
You told me at the beginning you're still a child. So Vanessa, you
Yes.
just told that to yourself. And
Absolutely.
we tell you, we love you. We believe in you. You're colorful and you can do anything.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to end with a question that I think we all would love to hear. What parting messages do you have? This is sort of twofold. And then after that question, we'll do our quick little giveaway for our fun sticker. But the question is twofold. What parting messages or advice do you have for specifically the teachers or the big kids or like any type of grown-up? And what message would you share with young kids, knowing that there is a very real chance I might play this clip for my little babies?
Okay, gotcha. For my adults, my adult kids, you matter. You matter. And you need to give out of a healthy place. And that first place is giving to yourself. This is not a time to be hard on yourself. And I know that the schools want you to do this and that and all the things that are set before you. But if you're not here, it won't matter. It won't matter. So I need you all to take the time to get with people who you will be encouraged by. And I'm just going to talk to you like I would talk to my kid.
Yes.
If they're not serving the relationship, okay? That's a girlfriend that always wants to bend your ear around your neck with negative stuff. Get them far away from you, okay? Put on some music. Calming is nice, yeah. Okay? Put on some music and dance like nobody's watching. You need this. This is the love you give to yourself. Take the doggone bubble bath. Drink a cup of tea. Do what you need to do for you. Because you can't keep giving out of these empty spaces and thinking, you know, I'm going to be filled up some kind of other way. It doesn't happen.
Yes.
Take the moments that you need for yourself and breathe.
Yeah.
Okay? For my little ones, this is a time to think and dream as big as you possibly can. COVID doesn't stop you from having a life. You guys are going to run the world after this. We won't always have on mask, but the world is going to transform. It won't be the same. You're going to have to find innovative ways to play with your friends and to talk to them. And I know you're going to do it in such magnificent and fabulous ways. Write letters to each other. Sing songs on the phone. Get on Zoom calls if mommy and daddy will let you. And have your own party on a Zoom call. How about that? Okay? And love each other. But it starts with loving yourself because you matter. Yes, you do. That's my closing message to all of you.
Oh, Vanessa, every day we're playing this on the drive to work. I mean, playing it for my kiddos because you are a true inspiration, and we're all so lucky to have you be part of our chat today, but also just be gracing us with your beautiful, beautiful books and art and talent and all of it. I can't possibly say enough. So now, after all of that, little tears in the eyes, we're going to end with a fun little question. So if you want to get your hands on one of these little holographic stickers, I'm going to ask a question, and the first answer that I see that is correct in the chat will win the sticker, and I will send it to you. So the question is, you just need to type the title of Vanessa's upcoming book. So her book that will be released shortly, get those fingers typing. What is Vanessa's upcoming book called? Please, my friends, get it in the chat. Let's go. They're all like, yay, but I need the answer. What? Yay! Okay, Delon, I see it. Delon, oh gosh. Yay, Becoming Vanessa. Okay, DELONNAGIBBS. Delana Gibbs. I'm going to message you, my friend. Thank you for being the first to respond. And y'all, thank you so much for joining us. This chat will be saved in our IG Live or our IGTV chat for the Art of Ed, so y'all can rewatch it many times when you want to hear Vanessa's sweet voice. And then we will also be sharing links to her TED Talk and her website and other things in the story after this. So y'all share away, because we need to hear voices like yours and so many others with the world. Vanessa, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was wonderful being here. I love you all. Thank you for those that have come to be here. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you.
All right, y'all. Have a great day. Thanks, Vanessa.
Bye, darling. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.